Hello and welcome everybody once again to another exciting episode of Reign of Chaos Wrestling StrikeZone. And we are one show away from next week being the RCW Solar Flare pay-per-view. We are coming to you live from Madison Square Garden here in New York City. Kicking things off this week is going to be women's action. We got Alexa Bliss taking on Mickie James.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Richmond, Virginia, Mickie James.
Of course, Mickie James, an absolute legend in women's wrestling, up there with Lita, Trish Stratus, Chyna, and many more. Mickie James scored a victory over Mandy Rose a number of weeks ago here on StrikeZone. And now she's got to face Alexa Bliss, who is a completely different competitor than who we've seen a number of years ago. More on that in just a bit.
And her opponent from Columbus, Ohio, Alexa Bliss.
As I was alluding to earlier, Alexa Bliss was a part of Reign of Chaos Wrestling back in 2017, 2016. Back then, she was just a young woman who wasn't entirely sure how to succeed in the world of professional wrestling, but she has since went on to WWE, where she has found her footing, found her place, and grown into a very accomplished young lady, winning several championships over in WWE. Again, no doubt in my mind that she'll be a future champion here in RCW, but here we go. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss kicking off this week's edition of StrikeZone. Just a slight programming note that the Twitch TV Championship is not going to be defended this week, given there is going to be an immediate rematch for the title at RCW Solar Flare next week on pay-per-view. Now both Mickie and Bliss is trading corners, or trading places in the corner. Alexa Bliss with a snap suplex to Mickie James, laying out the veteran. Now Mickie back up on her feet for a flapjack to Bliss. And again, I gotta reiterate that Mickie James is in a similar boat as AJ Styles is, that Mickie is a veteran, obviously, of this business and is not quite ready yet to hang up the boots, but she's gotta, that she can prove that she can hang with the young generation, the new generation of wrestlers. And she did exactly just that again a number of weeks ago against Mandy Rose, and she's looking to prove it here against Alexa Bliss. And we will talk more about Solar Flare later on in the show. Matches that you can expect to see next week. Now Alexa Bliss focusing on Mickey into the corner. Coming up empty off that splash attempt. Another flapjack from Mickey. Now Bliss able to counter it. When Bliss was here in RCW back in 2016, I always refer to her as the 5-foot Spitfire, and she is exactly that. There is no quit in Alexa Bliss. Off the suplex into the cover, an immediate rope break for Mickie James. Off the ropes goes Bliss. Mickie James spinning back elbow. Landing on the button of Alexa Bliss. Now Bliss dumped over the top rope. Mickie James looking for a suplex, and she hits it. Mickie immediately into the cover on Bliss here. Only a 1 count so far. Modified surfboard stretch here by Mickie James, and also we will also see Lio Rush later on tonight in regards to his actions last week involving a match between Rhino and Dolph Ziggler. Again, more on that later. Off the ropes goes Bliss, and Mickie looking for a double leg takedown, it looked like. And now Alexa Bliss maybe looking to put this match away here. Looking for the DDT. Spiking Mickie James in the cover too, and Mickie James with another kick out. Mickie James staying alive in this match, as you would expect. Now Bliss is looking to choke the life out of Mickie James here. And there's the chick kick from Mickie James. Mickey's not done yet. Modified neck breaker there. Beautiful combination there from Mickie James. Looking for the leaping DDT, but Bliss had it scouted. She knows, because they were once associates and partners in WWE. Bliss with the DDT of her own again, spiking Mickie James in the cover. And Alexa Bliss is going to pick up the victory here over Mickie James. Alexa Bliss picking up the victory over Mickie James here tonight, kicking things off on the Go Home show before Solar Flare. Big victory for Alexa Bliss, and again, as I said earlier, she's a completely different competitor than what we've seen before, when she was, again, just finding her base and really trying to find herself, and she was just a naive little girl all those years ago, but now she's a fully developed competitor. Alexa Bliss making her mark as we now move on to some tag team competition. And as we wait for the next match to start, in regards to the RCW Tag Team Championships, they will be defended. This will be defended next week. It will be the Street Profits defending the titles against the Authors of Pain, a rematch of sorts from a couple of weeks ago here on StrikeZone. I believe it is going to be a tornado tag team match for the tag team titles. Even though there's a lot of scrutiny between or surrounding the Street Profits and the ways that they've been picking up wins and just competing in matches in general.
At a combined weight of 499 pounds, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus, and Cesaro, the Bar.
As always, Sheamus and Cesaro, two very accomplished competitors in the world of professional wrestling. Cesaro, a former Intercontinental Champion over in GAW, which you can also check out their new website live at generaladmissionwrestling.com, where you can check out all of their title histories, the current rosters, and all those in the GAW Academy. Also, don't forget to check out their YouTube channel at GAW Wrestling. Again, their new website is generaladmissionwrestling.com. Again, Cesaro, a former Intercontinental Champion over there in GAW. As the Bar now waits the Ascension.
At a combined weight of 487 pounds, Connor and Victor, the Ascension.
The Ascension, one of the longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions in NXT. Again, former alumni here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling. We'd love to get the ball rolling in our 2020 reboot. Well, now 2021. 2020 seemed like it was so long ago. But here we go. Connor and Sheamus starting things off for their teams here in tag team action. And Connor with a backbreaker as Sheamus. A very stacked tag team division that we have here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling. Again, we got the current champs, the Street Profits, their #1 contenders, the Authors of Pain, and we got the Bar, the Ascension, and the Colognes. Very well established tag teams in the world of wrestling. I'm just glad to see them compete in every week here on StrikeZone. In the off the tag is Cesaro. Cesaro, one of the most underrated wrestlers that you will ever see. I mean, not in terms of his ring style, but just in terms of potential. He's always hitting the glass ceiling, and at some point he's going to break through. And the world better watch out for when that happens. Now Cesaro keeping control of Victor. Victor breaking free out of the control of Cesaro. Northern Lights back body. Well, thought he was looking for a Northern Lights suplex. Instead for a back body drop. Cesaro sweeping the leg of Victor. Now Cesaro able to fight out of the look like Connor going for a DDT, or excuse me, Victor. Looking for a DDT, and now Victor's in the wrong part of town. He's in the corner of the Bar. As now Sheamus is tagged in, and Connor wanting to save his partner, but the referee's able to stop him. Now Sheamus, Cesaro double gut kick. Full tag team cooperation and coordination on display for the Bar. Again, the Bar unsuccessful to challenge for the tag team titles twice. The first at RCW Breakout when they won the... Well, they were in the finals for the tournament, losing to the Street Profits in what was a count-out victory for the Profits, but the title was not officially rewarded until the next week on StrikeZone, where we had a Falls Count Anywhere tag team match for the tag team titles. And it was then that the Street Profits would win the championships, but again, just a lot of controversy and scrutiny surrounding the tag team champions. So that's why Solar Flare, we're going to have ourselves a tornado tag match between them and the Authors of Pain, as Victor is keeping Sheamus isolated for the moment. And again, back into the Bar's corner. I was just speaking of how Victor was keeping them isolated, keeping Sheamus isolated. White noise into the European uppercut. Beautiful combination from the Bar. And in that comes off the tag is Connor, the powerhouse of the Ascension, but Cesaro and Sheamus on a whole nother level. They got the Ascension's number right now. Into the Connor cover off the uppercut. And Connor with a gut punch, almost an uppercut of his own to Cesaro. The Ascension, our dominant tag team, I can reassure you, it's just as soon as the chains are let off that they go wild. Now Connor isolating Cesaro from Sheamus in his corner off the tag. Back in is Victor. Victor doing all the heavy work for the Ascension in this match. Now Cesaro with a short shoulder tackle, while keeping full control of the wrist, which is smart strategy from Cesaro. Now Victor going corner to corner with Cesaro, making the tag to Connor. An assisted leaping clothesline off the second turnbuckle, and Connor's starting to feel it here against Cesaro. Power slam position, snake eyes into the corner. We know all the giants that Cesaro can slay in a moment's notice, and he's done so against the Great Khali and the Big Show. There's a running elbow drop from Connor, laying out Cesaro. And now military press. Again, I speak about the strength and power. Cesaro and an uppercut to Connor. The much bigger Connor. Off the tag is Sheamus coming into this match. Uppercut of his own. High knee coming up empty for the Celtic Warrior. Gut wrench suplex. And Victor really wanting to make the tag to get back in this match. Victor being very wiring and scrappy young man trying to get back in this match. With Sheamus in firm control of his partner. Now Sheamus just throwing Connor into the corner. And Sheamus again into a power slam position. Connor able to roll through with a reverse DDT. Gut kick, sweeping the leg. Great strategy by Sheamus into the Boston Crab. Which I would think if a native Bostonian was hitting that move here in New York City, they'd be booed out of the arena. But Connor with a slam there. To Sheamus, and great strategy again by Sheamus, was lowering his center of gravity as Connor was looking for a belly-to-belly suplex. If you can make yourself tight and small, it's harder for your opponents to lift you up. And out of the corner. In this match again right now in firm control is the bar. Sheamus again throwing Connor into the bar's corner. And just laying out the right hands. A ground and pound attack from the Celtic Warrior. Tag made to Cesaro. Again, that combination. White noise into the European uppercut, and now Connor wants to desperately make the tag out to Victor. And here comes Victor of the Ascension. Momentum stopped hard and fast by Cesaro. Powerbomb out of the corner from Cesaro. Of course, Cesaro utilizes the sharpshooter from his former tag partner Tyson Kidd. As an homage to Tyson Kidd. There's a short clothesline from Victor, bringing down Cesaro. Standing STO from Victor, laying out Cesaro into the cover to win this match here, and he does. The Ascension picking up a huge victory over the bar this week. As you can see that Sheamus did not run in to break up the pin. He would have thought Cesaro had enough to get the kick out, but just as is the nature of wrestling, anything can and will happen. And that proves it right there that the Ascension can pick up a win over any team that they can. And Victor proved that here tonight against Cesaro.
Here are your winners, Connor and Victor, the Ascension.
Great, another, as I said earlier, another great win for a big win for the Ascension. To assert their spot in the tag team division. And coming up next, we are going to hear from the man of the hour, Lio Rush. Again, last week he came in and interfered in the match between Dolph Ziggler and Rhino. But we will hear Leo's actions in regard to last week. Let's see what he has to say. Over the past week, I've been asked by fans here in the arena, here in MSG, and online, as well as everyone in the locker room, why? Why did I screw over Rhino in his match against Dolph Ziggler? Well, first off, I just want to say it was nothing personal to Rhino. I can assure you that. Just to be perfectly honest with you, Rhino, you were caught in the crossfire. I wanted to prove a point to Dolph Ziggler that he has to cheat in order to win. He did it to me, and he did it to Rhino. Now there is no turning back for you, Dolph. You see, at RCW Solar Flare, we're going to have ourselves a no disqualification match. See, this is the thing I don't get, Ziggler. You have all these accolades. You were a record-setting collegiate wrestler from Kent State, a 3-time All-American Conference champion. You have all the tools to be successful, but you decide to cut corners because it's the easy way. All that time in the gym and on the mats was all for nothing, then, I assume. I'll just finish by saying this. I guess it's no wonder Vince couldn't trust you to be a world champion. Strong words from Lio Rush there. My goodness. And Leo does have a valid point that Cesaro or that Ziggler cannot get the job done without some kind of help or interference. Well, now we're going to get a little bit of a redemption for Rhino if he can knock off Eli Drake here tonight. This is a rematch of sorts from the World Title Tournament. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that was Dave Mastiff. But Eli Drake and Rhino in singles action coming up next.
Making his way to the ring from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 242 pounds, Eli Drake.
And here comes Eli Drake, again a former Impact World Champion. Eli Drake have not been able to get out of the blocks as of late here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling. Picking up quite a few losses. But hopefully he can set the record straight here. Get a clean slate here against the man-beast Rhino. Again, Rhino wants a little bit of redemption for what happened to him last week. Lio Rush came in and hit him with a rolling on Prettier. Enough for Ziggler to crawl into the cover, unbeknownst to the referee, and pick up the victory over Rhino last week.
From Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 295 pounds, Rhino.
And Rhino all set for action here in our co-main event of RCW StrikeZone. Rhino, a legend in his own right in WWE, ECW, and Impact Wrestling. Multiple-time world champion, at least in ECW, and one time in Impact Wrestling. But here we go, Rhino and Eli Drake, collar and elbow tie-up into the corner. Let's see if we get a clean break here between Eli Drake and. Wow, I'll be honest, I didn't expect Eli Drake to allow for a clean break, given Drake's attitude. Color me pleasantly surprised. But Rhino is just, Rhino's on a whole different gear right now. Again, just wanting to avenge that embarrassing loss last week to Dolph Ziggler at the hands of Lio Rush, as we were mentioning earlier. Rhino in firm control of Eli Drake here, slamming down his knee into the center of the mat. And Rhino showing off his strength on display. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we see Rhino becoming the Twitch champion. And ladies and gentlemen, you can decide who challenges for the Twitch TV Championship every week here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling by subscribing to our Twitch channel. At least into the first tier, you get access to our Discord server as well as other exclusive perks to the channel. Double underhook suplex from Rhino, laying out Eli Drake. A standing drop kick from the Man Beast. And Rhino's just going to work here on Eli Drake, rolling back in and out of the ring to reset the count. And Rhino, I believe, is all sorts of pissed off. And Eli Drake, I wouldn't blame him. He doesn't want any part of it. Now these two just going at it, trading strikes back and forth into the corner. Rhino able to intercept. And got him up and down with a huge power bomb from the Man Beast. And the wheelbarrow facebuster to Eli Drake, courtesy of Rhino. Rhino into the cover now. And a 1 count from Eli Drake. And of course, Eli Drake calls everyone a dummy. And I think, again, just given his track record lately, that's done nothing but upset his opponents. To call them a dummy, because that just gets them mad, and he gets put up on the losing end of his matches lately. So I think I would take a different course of action if I were Eli Drake, not call all my opponents a dummy. Drake out of the corner with a back elbow. Now wrenching the neck of Rhino. Drake going to work on the left knee of Rhino. Good strategy. Knowing that he uses the gore as his move he uses to put out his opponents. And Drake looking for a belly-to-belly, but Rhino with a STO counter. Beautifully done from the Man Beast. And Rhino with a headbutt to Eli Drake. And this match could be all but over soon, I would think. Backbreaker from Rhino. Back body drop by Eli Drake. Laying out Rhino. Now Eli Drake. Knee lift and clothesline. Taking down Rhino. And Eli Drake maybe looking to put this match away here. Looking to hit the gravy train on the Man Beast. Here we go. And he hits it. The gravy train to Rhino from Eli Drake, and that's going to do it. Eli Drake picking up the victory over Rhino. Let's take a look again at the final replays here of this match. Eli Drake again was on a bit of a losing streak until now. Eli Drake able to put away Rhino. The 300+ pounder and the gravy train from Eli Drake rolling into the cover. And that's going to do it for Rhino this week. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is our main event of the evening. Some more singles action for you. We got Seth Rollins and AJ Styles in action here in our main event. Seth Rollins, a former world champion here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling, taking on the phenomenal legend that is AJ Styles. Of course, his time in New Japan, Impact, WWE, GAW. And a bit of a redemption story here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling for AJ Styles, as he goes to work against the former world champion. Now, we haven't seen Seth Rollins since the World Championship Tournament, where Seth Rollins got himself a bye in that tournament. Got a bye in the first round where he went against who is now the #1 contender, Wade Barrett. Rollins picked up the victory over Wade Barrett, and then Rollins would go on to face Kevin Owens in the semifinals of the World Title Tournament. But we haven't seen Rollins since then. He's looking to burn down Madison Square Garden here by taking on the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. And here comes AJ Styles.
From Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
AJ Styles, as I said before, a bona fide legend everywhere he's been, except for here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling. Maybe another feather to the cap of AJ Styles if he can climb the ranks and become world champion here in RCW. And he could definitely assert himself here if he can knock off a former world champion in Seth Rollins. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, main event underway now. Bell rings, here we go, Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, which we've only seen a handful of times. If you do a bit of a YouTube search on these two. Another collar and elbow tie-up. Let's see if we get a clean break this time. We did the first time, and we get it for a second time. I think AJ was maybe a little bit of hesitant shown. Spinning DDT from Seth Rollins and dropping the knee. And as we've seen in Rollins' matches in the past, that he has hit that ripcord knee strike and has been able to put away his opponents. So he has to go for the move that more or less made him famous, that being the curb stomp. Or snap suplex by Rollins, this time into the cover on AJ. And only a 1 count from AJ Styles. The curb stomp being the old reliable for Seth Rollins. And a huge running drop kick there from AJ. You know, AJ off the ropes with a knee drop of his own. Sweeping the leg is Rollins. Now Seth in control. But AJ able to keep control of the wrist and get out of the position. Beautifully done. Another dropkick coming up empty for AJ. Rollins looking for a German suplex, or at least getting waistlock control. AJ with a kick to the gut, and he's looking for a power bomb. Instead, he's going to turn it to draping Rollins over the top rope. AJ now into the cover on Seth here, and only barely even a 1 count from Seth Rollins. Rollins with an uppercut of his own. Sending AJ into the corner. AJ able to avoid the splash. Another running dropkick. This time hits its mark on Seth Rollins. And now AJ immediately going for the calf crusher. And we know the history that Rollins has with that surgically repaired knee that put him out on the shelf for months, taking him out for months of his career. Rollins missing the kick there. Again, AJ just wanted to keep control of the waistlock. Running dropkick hitting its mark that time. And AJ is feeling the momentum here in our main event this week. Not sure what AJ was looking for there to send Rollins into the corner. But Rollins rolled through, super kick. I believe AJ is busted open. Running drop kick of his own. Now Rollins into the cover on AJ. And again, only a 1 count from these two high caliber athletes. Rollins keeping AJ grounded here. Asserting control of the match. And now Rollins maybe looking, and he's going to go for it, looking to hit the stomp onto AJ Styles right into the mat. Into the cover on Styles here. And only a 2 count for Seth Rollins as AJ stays alive in this match. AJ with a kick to the gut. Sending Rollins into the corner. He's going to set him up on the top turnbuckle. I don't know what AJ has in store, but we're not going to find out. Rollins able to counter it. So Falcon Arrow. As Rollins is looking to burn down New York City. There we go. Several forearm combinations to the sling blade. Now Rollins going to the top turnbuckle. AJ kept up, able to counter it. Was barely able to avoid Seth Rollins there. And now AJ again into the calf crusher, and we know the history again. And I think that is the correct knee that Rollins had to get surgery done on. But Seth able to escape. The calf crusher, roll through super kick again to AJ Styles. Into the cover now. With Seth Rollins and AJ staying alive again, kicking out at 2. And Rollins looking for that ripcord knee strike. Hitting the button on AJ Styles here. And AJ staying alive. I thought Rollins had it. I thought Seth had this match all but one. Standing moonsault to Styles. I'll be honest, I thought Rollins had this match. But again, I mentioned earlier that in Rollins' earlier matches, he hits the ripcord knee, not able to get the job done until he hits the stomp, but he hit the stomp first. And AJ still kicked out, and this time he hit the ripcord knee, and that's never seems to get the job done for Rollins. And now Seth working the lower back of AJ. Looking for the standing blockbuster into the cover now. Enough to put away AJ Styles, and AJ is still staying alive in this match. But Rollins again just keeping firm control. Super kick once again to the phenomenal one. Oh man, and now AJ is just a bloody mess into the cover. We need to, I think AJ needs medical attention, but wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this match is starting to get somewhat uncomfortable to watch as AJ is able to hit the face buster or jawbreaker. Oh my god, AJ is bleeding profusely now, but AJ is still willing to fight in this match. Back suplex from Styles as AJ is looking to put Seth Rollins away after an onslaught of non-stop assault from Seth Rollins, but AJ looking to hit the Styles Clash on Seth Rollins. Cover by Styles. And this match is over. I was almost afraid that we would have to stop this match by... You could see that AJ is nothing but a bloody mess. But congrats to AJ Styles. Nonetheless, but at what cost that he was barely able to defeat Seth Rollins here. There's that ripcord knee as we saw earlier. And AJ, I think he's proud to be wearing that crimson mask as a sign that he will never give up. He'll never say die. But again, at what cost? Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us this week here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling. We'd like to thank you everybody so much for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing, hitting that bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos. And make sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that's going to do it for us here in Reign of Chaos Wrestling. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Next time we will be on pay-per-view. And we will see you right here in 2 weeks on the Strike Zone.